How do you get away with such a scam for so long? Is that because he's so good? Or that we as a people are so gullible? It might be a combination of both. You don't know what I'm talking about? Well, let's talk it this way. Before I go into my topic, I just want to say welcome to the Scurv podcast. We don't hold back here. Buckle your seatbelts. For more than a decade, Dr. Umar Johnson has positioned himself as one of the most visible voices in Black social media discourse. With credentials as a psychologist, frequent appearances on major platforms, and a massive online following, he has cultivated an image of authority, intellect, and cultural leadership. Central to that image is a long-promised institution, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, a school intended to educate Black boys and restore a sense of purpose and discipline to a struggling community. Yet after roughly 15 years, give or take, of fundraising, touring, speaking engagements, and viral content, the school remains largely unrealized. This reality has led many supporters, former supporters, and observers to ask a simple but uncomfortable question. Where did the money go? That question alone does not constitute an accusation. It is, however, a reasonable inquiry, especially when the project has been used consistently as the moral and financial centerpiece of a public brand. Over the years, Dr. Johnson has repeatedly assured his audience that progress is being made. Photos of a purchased building circulate, videos show walkthroughs, social media posts suggest momentum, but tangible, verifiable outcomes, permits finalized, construction milestones completed, operational timelines established, remain elusive. Why? In contrast, what is visible is constant travel, paid speaking engagements, online monetization, and a lifestyle that appears disconnected from a project allegedly consuming millions of donated dollars. Again, perception is not proof, but perception matters when donations are solicited from working class people who believe they are investing in a future institution, not a perpetual promise. When questioned directly about finances or timelines, Dr. Johnson, if you can call him a doctor, often responds not with documentation or transparency, but with hostility, insulting critics, questioning their intelligence, or framing inquiries as attacks on Black unity. This response style has become part of the pattern itself. The larger issue is not merely about one man. It's about how someone can fundraise publicly, repeatedly, and indefinitely without the same scrutiny others face. History is filled with cases where far smaller operations were quickly audited, investigated, or dismantled by the IRS or other authorities for financial irregularities. So why does this situation appear any different? There are several possible explanations, none of which require conspiracy to be plausible. First, fundraising framed as donations rather than investments often exist in a gray zone. If no explicit return is promised, accountability thresholds can be surprisingly low unless formal nonprofit violations are proven. Second, charismatic figures who operate within cultural or ideological movements often benefit from community protection. Supporters may silence critics, discourage questions, and treat skepticism as betrayal. In that environment, scrutiny dies internally long before it ever reaches institutions. Third, outrage alone does not trigger investigations. Paper trails do. If funds are technically reported, even if ethically questionable in use, enforcement agencies may see no immediate cause for action. There is also a more uncomfortable possibility worth examining, not as an accusation, but as a historical pattern. Throughout American history, particularly during counterintelligence era operations, the government has demonstrated a willingness to monitor, manipulate, and sometimes tolerate figures who neutralize collective action by absorbing attention without producing structure. Loud voices that keep communities emotionally charged but organizationally stagnant have, at times, served as pressure valves rather than threats. Whether Dr. Umar Johnson fits this category is unknown, but the effect is measurable. Years of energy, money, and hope channeled into a single figure rather than distributed into multiple concrete local initiatives for Black children. A dream that never materializes can be more effective at immobilizing people than outright opposition. There's nothing wrong with focusing on Black boys. There's nothing wrong with dreaming big. But leadership is ultimately measured by results, not rhetoric. Smaller pilot programs could have been launched. Partnerships could have been formed. Transparency could have been embraced. Instead, the model has remained centralized, opaque, and personality-driven. That structure benefits the messenger more than the mission. At some point, asking questions stops being divisive and starts being responsible. Rumors of investigations circulate online, as they often do when patience runs out. Whether any agency ever intervenes is uncertain. What is certain is that public trust erodes when time passes without accountability. This is not a call for punishment. It's a call for clarity. If the money was used properly, show it. If delays were legitimate, document them. If mistakes were made, at least acknowledge them. Anything less invites suspicion, and suspicion grows fastest where transparency is absent. Movements fail not only because of external sabotage, but because communities sometimes place faith in individuals instead of systems. Charisma can inspire, but it can also distract. Dreams can motivate, but they can also delay action indefinitely. At a certain point, belief must give way to evidence. And when that moment arrives, the most dangerous thing a community can do is silence itself in the name of loyalty. Bottom line, has Dr. Umar Johnson been loyal to the community that he gets money from for such a long time? And I'm going to tell you straight up, Black people, in this regard, something is wrong with y'all. I'm saying I don't care who gets mad or not. For those who kept the hope alive, look, nobody wants to see anybody fail for a righteous endeavor. But we hold on longer in a dysfunctional way, especially when it's a slick-talking, charismatic person who obviously is not going to follow through with what he says he's going to follow through with. But we love to be entertained and caught up in the words and dreaming and the emotional orgasms that people like this can bring. In that aha moment, tell it, you better tell it, you better preach it. There's something wrong with us. Look, it's not even just about Umar Johnson. Look at the countless thousands of pastors who do the same thing to people. We have been conditioned this way for hundreds of years and nothing's changing. And I'm telling you, as we speak right now, somebody is writing a check, somebody is filling out a Cash App or a PayPal or a Venmo or a Zelle, to give Umar Johnson more money. Face it, those who do at this point, especially in this new year of 2026, is proof that there's something wrong with y'all. Whoever is a proud Umar Johnson contributor in this day, raise your hand or leave a comment and tell me why. Now, for those in the past who gave out of their heart because they believed this man, I'm not coming down on you. You didn't know. Let me tell you something. I made several videos 10, 12 years ago on my old channel that was taken down in support of Dr. Umar Johnson. And after a while, I saw the egotistical behavior, and I saw that nothing was happening and what he was focusing on. He wants to be more of a celebrity than anything else. There are a lot of men who come online and talk righteous, but they really want attention and celebrity. And out of that, other things can happen, especially with the women, especially with more money. How long do you think this is going to last? How much, really and truly, leave a comment and let me know how much longer this dysfunctional relationship with this crazed man is going to last. It's already been proven that he's been living with his mother, who's on welfare. It's already proven that he's brought women in to help with the mother and had sex with them and turn around and say how musty they were between their legs. Is this a man who you want to have lead your children? Where's the money? Where's the proof? Where is it? We need to know. We should have asked that a long time ago. Where did the money go? Donation or distraction? Why won't he show receipts? Charisma can't build schools. Is this a movement or a mirage? How come questions about this equates in his mind as hate? Dreams don't require accountability? Black boys still waiting? At what point do we ask? Come on, y'all. We're looking foolish now. We're looking foolish. People like him are going to do what they do. But if we continue to bury our head in the sand and look the other way, it says a whole lot about us, more so than about him. And maybe this is a marriage made in heaven. Maybe we will continue to treat people like Dr. Umar Johnson this way. Maybe somehow you feel it's a mutually beneficial relationship. But he could have started smaller. He could have got some things done. He had the press, the media. He had the money coming in all these years. You gave in an unceasing manner. But at what point do you hold yourself accountable? We want to hold Dr. Umar Johnson accountable. Yes, we do. But at what point do you hold yourself accountable at this point after so much has been revealed about him and you're still giving to him and supporting him in a dysfunctional way? I want to know. Hit me up, y'all. I love you all, but we got to talk real sometime. And sometimes it's going to feel uncomfortable. How can this man exist for so long in the black community, talking that stuff every day online, and we just let it go? That's the question I have. Much love to you all. LanceScurv out. I'm waiting to hear from y'all. Don't hide, because I'm going to keep calling you out. Peace.